Hello everybody, this is vocab part 3 and in this video as well I am going to discuss some more prefixes, their meanings, their origins and some examples as I did in the other videos as well. The first video was on paronyms and the second video was same as this one. I just took some prefixes and in this video some other prefixes I have taken and I have given you certain examples, their origins and their meanings as well. So let's begin now. So here, as you can see, I've taken the prefix ante, which means before, and the first word here is antebellum, which has Latin origin, and this word means before war. Ante is before and bellum is war, so that is how it is before war. So you can see here, you can still find many houses and historical buildings in the antebellum south of the state. So as it is quite clear from this sentence how to use antebellum, so that we can find houses and historical buildings before war, means pre-war period buildings and houses. That's what we are talking of here. Similarly, you can see antecedent. It has Middle English, Middle French, Latin origins, means in all the three we can find it, and it means preceding. In grammar as well we use, so antecedent is the preceding noun, that is what we take as antecedent. So here antecedere, that is ante plus cedere, that is how the words are associated, the prefix and the root. And cedere means to go, so to go before, that is actually what it means. And now exactly the meaning of this word is preceding. So the sentence is, they were allowed to take account of antecedent legislation. That means preceding legislation, the law which was before this, existed before, or the law which was already there. So that is how they were allowed to take account of antecedent legislation. So we are using antecedent as an adjective here, similarly antebellum as well. Now the third one, C, is antedate, that is ante is before, date is similarly simply date and time. So preceding in time, that is antedate. I asked him to antedate the check. That means what I meant was that it should be say before time or preceding in time what the actual date was, not writing that date. It should precede in time or the date should be some days before. So that's what it means, antedate. Then it's an interesting word, antediluvian, and this word has Latin origin, and diluvium is the root from which this diluvian has come, and diluvium, which means flood. So actually this has existence in Hindu mythology and say biblical references as well. So diluvium actually was flood. So in Hindu mythology it is in primitive times, or say in early times, at the time of the origin of earth, and what happened was there was a great flood on this planet all over the world, and that in that flood all actually drowned. And during that time God took an incarnation, and that was an incarnation in form of fish, and then he saved the human life. Same kind of we can say reference we find in Bible as well, that there was a time when there was flood all over this planet. So antediluvian means belonging to era before flood. That means very old, extremely old, or primitive. That is what we can say here. So if I say that his ideas are always antediluvian ideas, so that is okay with antediluvian, or whatever you bring forth, it seems to be very antediluvian. So that's how we can use it. Now we have antilucan, which means before dawn. So quite simple. We don't have any origin or such say root here, such that from which origin it is, whether Latin or French. We don't have any such keys here. So the sentence is, I met her in the antilucan atmosphere. That means it was before dawn, early morning we can say. So that is antilucan. Then we have anterior. It has Latin origin and it means going before in time or sequence. So the sentence, I'm not thinking of the days anterior to COVID-19. So that is before COVID-19. That's what it means. Similarly, anti-meridian. So we are well aware of this. AM, PM we use. So meridian here means related to noon. So anti-meridian means before noon. And so the sentence we shall meet at 10 AM, that is 10 anti-meridian, that is before noon. Similarly, Ante-Mortem. So Ante-Mortem has Latin origin. You might have heard post-mortem, which is quite often used. So Ante-Mortem is before death. So mortem, mort, that means death. So he made an Ante-Mortem confession. So he made a confession before his death. That is Ante-Mortem confession. Now the second prefix is apo, which means away from, of. These are the meanings of this prefix, and the first word is apocalypse. It has Middle English, Latin and Greek origin, and it means end of the world, havoc, catastrophe, all that. So and the division you can see here how we can split it, apo and calyptine. So calyptine means to cover. Now away from that it means to reveal or to bring forth. That is what we can say here. So disclose, but exactly what we discussed here, that apocalypse means what? Havoc or destruction, catastrophe. So the sentence is, the army was going to call in airstrikes and heavy armor. And so it seemed, I didn't use apocalypse here, and we can now make it what? It seemed all apocalyptic to me, that it was a suggestion of some apocalypse. It was a hint of some apocalypse. That's how we can use it here. And then Apocryphal, which has Middle English, Latin, Greek origin. It means of doubtful authority, and the division or the splitting is apo and cryptine, which means to hide. So the word exactly is of doubtful authority. So this is the most important of all the apocryphal documents we have found so far. So that means most important of all the apocryphal documents. It means all the documents which have doubtful authority, no authenticity, but out of all that, this is the most important one. So that is apocryphal. And apogee is of French origin, and it means far from the earth. That is pinnacle, top, apex. Now you can see here apo plus GAIA, which is related to earth, which means earth. So the sentence is, the movement reached its apogee in 1970s. That is climax, the pinnacle, the top. So movement reached its top, its climax in 1970s. That is the meaning of apogee and the use of apogee. Then we have apoplexy, apoplexia, all that, and Middle English, French, Latin origin. As you can see, meaning is stroke. The splitting is apo plus sign, which means to strike, some nervous attack or strike, or in simple terms as I have written, stroke. He has caused apoplexy with his books on class and caste. So that's what we can say. Like his books on class and caste, he has caused a kind of some nervous disorder or some kind of problems, nervous tension among the people. So that is apoplexy. In simple terms, it is how we use it today is stroke. And then it is apostasy, again Middle English, French and Latin origin, means away from one's faith or defection, that is desertion. And the splitting is apo plus hestenai, which means to stand or to place. That is actually the meaning of hestenai, but the word exactly means away from one's faith. It means defection or desertion, abandoning. That is what it means. Now you can see here, Tapan's apostasy of his political ideology was a great shock to his political guru. Guru is teacher. So when he left his political ideology, when he deserted his political ideology, so that was a great shock to his guru. Apostle, Middle English, French and Latin origin, you can see it means preacher, evangelist, champion. So apo and stelline, that means to send. So Matthew and Mark were apostles. So according to Bible, the 12 disciples of Jesus Christ who were to spread his ideas, and they are the apostles of globalization. So here I'm using it in the sense of champion or supporter. Then it is apotheosis. So theos or theo, which means God. It has French and Greek origin, and that is deification. The sentence is, that was the time of Rajesh Khanna's deification, or you can take any such person who was glorified, like that was the time of Tom Cruise deification, Obama's deification. So this is how we can use it. So these were just some of the just two prefixes I have taken here. Their origins I have discussed and how we can use these words. That's what I've tried to show you here through these slides, through this video presentation, and I hope you would like it, and you can suggest me what more can be done, what improvement can be done, and what else I can do for you. So thank you for watching, and I will definitely appreciate your critical comments and suggestions. Just please spare your time for your suggestions and stay tuned, keep watching. Thank you very much.